Good morning, guys. I am Mama Bear to many. I am mom to 14 children, and I decided to do our tour today of the gardens and such. A couple days, I've been doing it on Wednesdays, and I'm doing it a couple days beforehand because it's supposed to be really rainy, and I wanted to try to get outside to show you the outside gardens. So we'll be doing that after we finish the tour inside the high tunnel. So we started off. I did this really cute thing for little kids. Hope you guys like it. So, right down here we now have the peas and the beans planted along the edges. As you can see, the broccoli over there are coming up, and over here the cauliflower are coming up. So we're just gonna come down here, and the kids were so in love with this. They were so cute. So they have their little table, and I made these little chairs. I'm gonna come out. I have a tutorial for those little stool type things because they're just too cute, and I couldn't find anything exactly the way that I liked it as a tutorial, so I kind of made it up and I videoed it so I can share it with y'all. Okay, so they planted some flowers, and then they have tomatoes here in the back that will get attached here, just the cherry tomatoes. They put some strawberries in some buckets there, and then they planted all along the sides. So they put peas here, cucumbers back here, and then beans along this side. In the corners here, they have marigolds. So we got all of this row planted, still working on those strawberries. All this row planted here. Come over here. These are the boxes on the sides. All the same as last week. We stopped right here. I'm going to run something the rest of the way down there, but I haven't done it yet. And then this section here is still not planted. But if you notice, the other day, I just bought some paint when I was trying to make it pretty, and so we painted just some things along the sides here, and then the kids, they did flowers to make it their own. So this right here we planted now, that's all beans. This is the only one on this side that's not planted. The rest of these are all planted. We have leeks and cabbage in there. We have broccoli. Let's see what else is there. More broccoli. What are those ones? Those are cabbage. Yep, cabbage in there. Cabbage in there. Last year I had got this soil. It was supposed to be loam. It is a really hard soil. I thought that it looked funny when I got it. We live like really remote, so it's hard to get any type of filler, but we just didn't have enough manure back there that we could use at that point. So I just got some stuff in, and it is not good at all. It's really hard. I planted, you'll see in a minute, I planted some tulips out front. And I'm just kind of walking through here because I already kind of went through what we've planted. The only thing that's really new as far as planting would be this row of beans, and that I did plant the beans in there, in the hoops or whatever. But what we did do was we cleaned out and put the weed mat all here, neatened up the shelves here, got the tools and stuff put away. Then the weed mats all the way down. Those are the strawberry starts my daughter's doing. Like that. We didn't plant sweet potatoes yet. It's actually, our last frost date is like Memorial Day weekend, and it's not even May yet. So I'm pretty much planted to where I can be planted at this point in here. As well as outside, except for my onions. So I will show you what is outside. So excuse the mess. We're going to come out. Are you following us? Come on. Come on. I know. She's feeling lonely. The kids are still inside. She needs some hugs. Here's our chickens. So this right here is adjacent to our high tunnel. And we are going to be taking this and putting it in half. So I wanted more yard space out front. I want to try to make this area into more driveway because we have more drivers now. And then this area would be somewhat sitting shaded area. And so they took these posts out so we can build something where we can sit under, I'm hoping. So check back and we'll show you that. And then over here we're going to take probably from this post here and go across, and then this will be another garden section here. I need to come up and in on this side so that I have enough room adjacent to the high tunnel to be able to fit a snowblower down here. So I'll have to get some fence from maybe here and then come up here, and then we'll go in and over there. So it's still a big space. It's probably, I think the width of this is actually 30. So it's would be like 30 by maybe 50, something like that. So this will be garden space after as well. Again, we still have 4 weeks. So this is more of just like what it looks like now. We tried to plant all these in strawberries last year, but we tried it in that that soil that I was talking about that I got from the guy, because we just didn't have, and they don't look like they're coming up at all. I'll give them a little bit longer and then maybe transplant them, but I'd rather take like fresh plants and plant them around the side. So this garden right here that I just spoke about, I want to set that up. We went down to Colonial Williamsburg and I saw they had this style. It was actually privacy fencing all around, and then inside they almost made like a square with herb beds and berries and stuff like on the outer square, and then they planted on the inside. And I want to make this area exactly like that. But I'm not going to use privacy fencing because I just looked and it's like $75 for one 6-foot section. Yeah, that's not happening. We're going to have like ghetto style. Probably I'm going to run this fence that's already there. And then I think I'm going to put wood pallets on the outside of that so nothing can push under it. I might, years ago, I had actually cut one side off of the pallets. And then I painted it, and it did kind of look like pickety type fence or whatever. I wish I still had pictures and stuff of that, but I really don't. So I'm gonna come up through the back side of our house and I will show you the other area. So I did say before, down here we're gonna just be doing the corn, and then I'm probably gonna run a let me come right here. I'm probably going to run this here. They're cleaning out the building right now, but I'm probably going to run just a chute. That's where our milk stand is. Just a chute down to here and then plant on this half. So from that pole to over here and then all the way up here. We'll leave a path so you can walk here, but we'll probably plant something down there. Not sure quite what yet. Hello, ladies. All right, so we're gonna come on. Yeah, so that soil is just, oh my goodness, I don't even know, but it's like hard as a rock. And so I put it all in, and I put some pretty flowers in it. I usually don't do flowers. Put some pretty flowers in it, and they're like tulips, and they're having a hard time like coming up through. Some of them still have, but they're still having a hard time. So, we have this area here. You can see here, this is where like the big coop area was and how it got destroyed. That's where my chickens are, over on the other side. So I need to figure out what I'm doing with this area. I don't like it. We can see this. Can you kind of see this is a hill? We had to redo our leach field, and when we did that, there's like a hill going down like this, so the water is just draining right in there, and I don't like that at all. It's not good for any animals to be on the water like that, so I don't know that that's the most ideal place to be having chickens right now. So I think that I'm probably going to turn that into some garden space. That's a really hard space because if you can see all those rocks in there, there used to be a rock wall in there. Okay, so this is my other garden. So this is one of the gates to get in. This was my original garden, and I used to just have only raised beds. So we had a plumbing issue, and we had to have the septic totally redone. We had the septic done as like a commercial grade. Like they gave us the same type of septic system that you would have if you had a school. And so they did that, but during the interim of that, things were like backing up. So we have like a green water. Is it green water? What's it called? That's our thing. So we need to hook that back up to the septic system. Our sub pump used to just go out it, and then we just put it, our sink goes out that way, but it leaves this part wet as well. So we need to hook that back up. I'm hoping to try to do that actually this weekend, because I stopped using the 7th generation soap and I'm using cheaper soap, but that means I do not want that anywhere, you know, around either. Okay, so these beds are all available for planting. Yep, these on this side are all available for planting. I do have some grapes that are trellised up here. And what I'll do is I will plant along. Why does grass always grow like 10 times before anything else does? I'll have to fill this section in here, and I'll plant some climby things along here. Probably I'll do Christmas lima beans. I'm not quite sure, but those are really pretty. I have comfrey back in this one, which you can start to see coming back out there. Comfrey was taking over my front bed, and so I decided to move that. So as soon as the weather is good, then we'll get out and start cleaning out these beds and getting them ready this month so they can get planted at the end. So the cat probably making a litter box in my bed. Another bed. These two are supposed to be asparagus. They are a hot mess. I want to weed those today. I don't see anything, but they still need to get weeded. I've had a heck of a time planting asparagus anywhere that I do. I am not an asparagus grower. So things that I do have planted over here, this is kind of like our tree garden, we call it. I have some garlic planted in here already. So we have various trees. These are dwarf trees. Yes, I know they're planted too close together. I did not realize that when I was planting them. So these beds, this bed obviously needs to get fixed. These beds need to get cleaned out. This is garlic already coming up. See? I think we planted like, yes, you're great. I think we planted like 400, maybe like 400 cloves of garlic, which will be good for us. So then I have another pathway that goes out there. I'm trying to bring that tarp, which is super heavy, over here into this grassy space here so that it will kill all that. So maybe we'll try and get that done today. What I'm doing right now is just kind of walking to see what needs to happen and what doesn't need to happen. This is an apple tree, more garlic, more trees. Planted this tiny peach tree last year and that one last year. Another tree. We had the beds covered, so that's what that is. Need to fix the corner of this bed, but there's garlic in here, and I don't know how these garlics are going to grow, because you see, this is all that material that I was talking about. See how hard that is? It's really, really hard, so I don't know how that's going to go. I might be in trouble for garlic. See how small they are? Oh, that's frustrating. Oh well, can't change it. You can only move forward. Got some buds going on the tree. See them? These ones seem to be coming out okay. And then things can be so frustrating sometimes. It's like you try so many things, and I did not grow up doing this, so it's just kind of like you got to figure out what you are going to do or not going to do and try to figure it out. Every year I'm figuring out something new, to be honest with you. I used to have, this is another thing, look right here. So this used to have one row all the way down, 2 rows all the way down of beautiful raspberries. I had beautiful raspberries for 4 or 5 years. 4 or 5 years, and then the next year, none came back. 0. I had like 0. Nothing came back. I have no clue what even happened. I don't know. But that's part of like homesteading. It's like sometimes you just don't know what's going on, and you just have to keep moving forward, and it's discouraging, but you have to just, okay, like how can we do things differently, or what's this gonna look like, or I don't know, decide how you want to change things or fix things up. We have this here again, another what happened. So the wind blew that off. We had this before without the ridgepole, and then the snow just bulked it down. So we put the ridgepole on it. Put the ridgepole on it, and it didn't really matter because the plastic came off. Somebody so nicely just gave us plastic, so I don't know if I'm going to redo that or not. I'm thinking possibly, because it was very handy to have it. So my daughter just did this area. Looks so pretty. So it looks like she made a little heart and butterfly. And this is our rhubarb. You can see the rhubarb starting to come up in here. And she's going to plant, she left like these holes here in order to plant some more rhubarb. We have that in the house that we need to stick in there. And then all throughout here, I think I have like 30 high bush blueberries, but obviously we need to clean all along the fence and all that type of stuff. So every year it is like a hot mess out here. But it's just like you have to take one day. I just wrote a blog post about scheduling and stuff. And it's like you can have a greater picture of like all the things that need to get done. But at the same time, it's like you have to decide each day what you want to do. You can't do everything in a day. And you know what? You're not going to get it all done. You're just going to have a plan. You're going to work on one thing at a time. You're going to say, okay, we're working on this today. And make sure that you have like equal time of, not equal time, but you have some time where it's not all about work or having fun while you're working or whatever. I'm not saying we do lots of like play things, but try to make like a trip to the grocery store. Maybe after the grocery store you could go to the park or something like that, you know, just having those times where it's good, and letting your children like express themselves too, like, hey, do you want to try to like make this area beautiful, or how would you do this or change that, and just letting them have an opinion on things. If there's an animal that they're interested in, just be like, oh, okay, well, let's look into that together, and look into it and be honest. You know, it might not be what you want to do, but if they really want to do it, like, and they think that they can like make it pay for themselves, then why not? Okay, so here's my last spot. Right here is in front of my front porch, and she rototilled this yesterday. And then we put some manure on top of it, and it's supposed to rain, so I want to see how that soil reacts after it rains, if there's manure on top of it like that, and then decide how much manure I'm going to put on or not have on. Yeah, because I want to plant this all into like flowers and herbs, and eventually it would be like medicinal herbs and regular herbs, or medicinal flowers and herbs and that type of stuff. I had it going well before, and then we had some issues and it's not well anymore, so now it's just completely cleared. I have 2 places up against the house. One has some herbs over there, and I'm going to be planting 2 rose bushes right outside my dining room window, which will make my heart happy. So that is about it. That is where we are at. And so I will do, I don't know if I'll do weekly tours outside because we're really not planting anything yet, but I will continue weekly tours like inside of the high tunnel if things are going on, and then we'll start to go outside. But I wanted to give you, before we started doing outside, I wanted to just kind of give you a tour of what we kind of had planned, and then you can see how fence changes and all that type of stuff. So y'all have a great day.